How's it going, guys? Welcome back to episode 5 of the Free Retro Game Collection. In the last episode, we had some really great games to the collection, as well as made some awesome sales as well. Now in this episode, this one may actually be the best episode to this day in regards to pickups. We've added a bunch of really cool games to the collection that were all from local thrift stores as well as from a trade. If you're curious to see what we picked up this time, definitely stay tuned and check out this video. Alright guys, welcome back to episode 5 of the Free Retro Game Collection. The way this episode is going to roll is we're going to be discussing a few things really quick, and then we're going to dig right into the pickups. After that, we're going to be talking about what we plan on keeping and selling from this week, and after that, we're going to be talking about the 1000 subscriber giveaway. Alright guys, so the first thing I want to talk about is a lack of content on my channel. Now with doing a series like this, I can only make content as often as I find the items I'm really adding to this retro game collection. Now, I know I've pretty much made it, turn my channel into this series pretty much, and I kind of want to drift away a little bit from it and still do my traditional pickup videos. I want to stick to doing this, I still want to stick to doing this one set retro game collection that's not pushed into any other shelf in my game room, because as you guys can still see behind me, there's still some retro games, there's a bunch of really cool odds and ends. I still have my old GameCube games and PS2 games and PS1 games that I did keep from my previous collection. But I still want to do other pickup videos. Now, my life isn't only about retro games. I picked up a PS4 about a month ago, so I'm picking up a bunch of cool PS4 games. I've actually been recently adding a lot of Wii U games to my collection because I definitely feel like this is a great time to buy for the Wii U. Outside of video games, I'm buying board games, cool toys or action figures, or things I just find to be extremely neat. Also, I'm adding a bunch of music CDs to my collection as well. Now, I would like to dig back into doing my traditional pickup videos and kind of start where I left off on those and still keep this series going and keep this bookshelf separated and keeping these pickups separated basically from what I'm adding to my normal shelf of things. If you guys would like to see that, definitely leave a comment below and let me know if you are. So where we left off with the budget in the last episode was having $68.12 to our name. Now that's not a bad thing at all, because in the end we've actually made $18 from this retro game collection so far, so therefore everything on that shelf over there has been absolutely free so far. The first thing that we actually did from the last episode is we actually put 2 games up for sale on eBay. The 2 games that we actually put up for sale were the ones I picked up from Walmart, I believe in episode 1 or 2, and those 2 games I picked up for only 3 cents each. So I was able to sell Professor Layton for $14.13 and Dragon Quest Monsters for $30.23. That's including all the shipping fees, PayPal fees, and eBay fees as well. And that brought our budget up to $112.48 for the remainder of this episode. Now the first pickup for this episode was something I grabbed about a month or a month and a half ago. The total of the pickup was $60.72, and it was for a pretty decent stack of NES games. Now, there were 4 complete box games and 2 games were loose, and one of the games that was loose I was very shocked to see because I don't think I've even seen this game in person before. The first complete game was for Dr. Mario, that was $7.99. We have Bubble Bobble, that was $19.99. This one's actually missing the manual and it's missing the styrofoam, but the game and everything else is in pretty good condition. The other game was for Super Jeopardy, that was $4.99. And last was Tetris, this was $9.99. This is complete, and for some reason, if you guys didn't know, that Tetris was the first game that got me into retro collecting. So having that game and maybe having 2 copies, it's just something I'm really stoked to have. The other game I grabbed was a copy of Zelda, very crispy gold cartridge for only $12.99. There's no black showing on this at all, so there's no wear and tear on the cartridge. And the other game was Toki on the NES. Now this is $14.99, and I don't know if you guys can see, this is a super clean cartridge. That is one game I have actually never seen in person. I used to own the Genesis game, Toki Going Ape Spit, prior to selling my collection. So it's really cool to have this. I've heard a bunch of great things about this game from the NES addict. So I can't wait to try this game. If I like it, I'll keep it. If I don't, who knows what may happen with it. Now for the next pickup. Now unfortunately I lost the receipt to this because this actually happened, I believe, almost 2 months ago. It actually happened just after I put out the last episode, which I believe was in mid-April. Now this total I believe was about, so the total was let's see, $38, but I had 20% coupon. So after you factor in the tax, it only came to $32.50 altogether. Now I saw 2 stacks of GameCube games at Savers. So the first one we go over was actually $12.99. This came with three games total. One is SSX Tricky, which is a game I absolutely love. I've never played on GameCube, I played on PS2, so it's really cool to add that to the collection. We picked up SSX on tour. I've never played that one. I have it for PS2, so I'll have to give that one a whirl. And the last was Pikmin 2. Now this is a really awesome game. I have played Pikmin 1, I played Pikmin 3, but I've never played Pikmin 2. So finding all three of those was, for $12.99 was really cool to find. The other stack of games was for $24.99. And this one is definitely up there when it comes to value. I already have one of these games, so I'm probably going to be getting rid of one of them, but we'll talk about that at the end of the video. First is Mario Kart Double Dash. The other one was Super Smash Bros. Melee. And the last was Super Mario Sunshine. Now, if you guys don't know, all three of these games can fetch, I believe, up to maybe almost $100 if you combine all three. So it's definitely something that's really awesome to find. Yes, I did have to pay, what was it, $24.99? Well, actually, it was $20 because I had 20% off coupon. So it's definitely something that's going to bring the channel in the right direction, so that we can maybe add something maybe rare, obscure, or something pretty costly now, because there's a few NES games I've been eyeballing that are in like the $100 range that I've been really hesitant to add, but I think it's about time we get there and start doing that soon. Now, I know I said at the beginning of this episode that there's some really awesome pickups, and so far what I've shown you guys has been really cool. We found Zelda, we found Toki, we found the box NES games, we found some really cool GameCube games, and there's still a few more things to show you, and then there's a trade I'm going to be talking about. So the next thing I picked up, which was $6.99, and for some reason they did not charge me tax on this. This was just $6.99 flat. That brought our budget down to $12.27 altogether. I found Batter Up on Super Nintendo. Now, if you guys don't know what this is basically a baseball bat peripheral you use for the Super Nintendo. Just take the sleeve off so I can try showing you guys. It works in a handful of Super Nintendo games. I have yet to try this because I don't have any Super Nintendo baseball games, but I did actually order one to give this thing a whirl with. I don't know if it's complete. It's in pretty good condition. It has some has a manual to it down there. I don't know if you guys can see. But yeah, it's honestly really cool. I did see this when I was younger. I just thought it was really cool because I had this. It was like a handheld toy. It was a like a Sports Illustrated baseball bat I used to play with when I was younger. And I always saw this in like, I don't know where it was, maybe Walmart or whatever. And I just really wanted it because I used to play Ken Griffey Jr. baseball a lot. So for $6.99, I definitely had to have that, and that is more than likely staying in this collection. And the same day I found that, I actually found a GameCube controller when I was at Salvation Army. Now, with this GameCube controller, I paid only $3.99 for it, so I believe after tax it was $4.27. Looks like a generic Indigo controller, but as you guys can see in the back, it is actually the Indigo and Clear one. I know they sold these separately. I'm not sure when it was, in the GameCube era. I don't think these are actually really that rare because in the past like 6 or maybe it's less than 6 months, I've actually found 2 of these, both at the same place. So it's really cool finding these. It's something you actually really don't see too often. You usually see the Indigo, the Black, the Platinum. Sometimes the Spice ones, which I believe the Spice ones probably would be considered more rare than this one. But for $4.27, it's never bad to have spare GameCube controllers hanging around, especially when you have Smash Brothers or Mario Kart to play. Alright guys, so the last pickup we did before we go into the trade from the Rebel Gaming Club is a Game Boy, or 2-bit Game Boy Advance games that we picked up for $5, and I believe it was like 27 cents altogether. Now this brought our budget down to only $2.66, so we definitely have some things to sell. I found this actually at my local Salvation Army. As you guys can see the price right there. I haven't even taken it out yet. One game is Metroid Zero Mission, and the other one is Pokemon Mystery Dungeon, the Red Rescue Team. I actually don't play Game Boy Advance much, so no clue what's going to happen with those. I'll discuss those in a bit. I know both those are actually, at least Metroid, hold some decent value, so I definitely had to grab that just in case. But I hear from a lot of people that this one's really great. Actually, both the Game Boy Advance games are really fun, so I'm definitely have to give this one a whirl. Have never actually played a Metroid game besides Metroid Prime, so we'll see what happens with that one. Alright guys, so now we're digging into what's going to be my favorite part of this episode. Now recently I did a trade with Dan at Rebel Gaming Club, and the first thing I want to do is say thank you to Dan and everyone else that makes Rebel Gaming Club possible. You guys are a bunch of amazing dudes. You guys put out some of the best content on YouTube, and I honestly can't thank you all enough. For those who are watching and aren't subscribed to Rebel Gaming Club, give this video for honestly just a minute, 2 minutes, 15 minutes, because if you guys may get stuck on watching them, but just go up to the search bar, type in Rebel Gaming Club, and watch all 90 plus episodes of their pickups. And they find some amazing things. They're just hilarious. They're the coolest group of guys. I recently got to see them at too many games, and it's always a blast hanging out with them. Also, while you're over there and as you fall in love with them, just go over there and pick up one of their new shirts. As you guys can see, this is one of their newer shirts they just came out with. Super soft cotton. I believe these shirts are only $16 shipped. So if you are interested in grabbing one, message me. I can get you in touch with Dan, or we could try to work something out so you can actually pick up on these shirts. And like I said, they're only 16 bucks shipped. It's going to help out their channel and help with the growth of them as well. So what we actually ended up trading away was something that I wasn't planning on getting rid of, but in the end, I never ended up playing it in the several months I've been working on this series. The game I actually got rid of was Obscure. The other game I got rid of with it was Silent Hill Origins, because if you guys actually remember from last episode, I picked up a second copy of that. In the end, Dan hooked me up. Basically, at too many games, he walked me over to his car, had a bag of games, and he was like, give this one, give this one, give this one. And honestly, I didn't have any of them. So, he treated me well, I'm not gonna lie. First thing he gave me was actually a casing manual to Smash Brothers. That's not included with this series. That's something he just helped me out with, because I can't talk about it yet because this is going to be released before the person who's getting it is going to know. But he traded me almost 15 games, I think. I can't do math right now. Several NES games as well as some Super Nintendo games. A bunch of these are some common titles, but are also amazing titles. First is Golf on NES. This game's actually an absolute blast. Probably actually my favorite golf game on the NES, besides like there's like Golf Grand Slam and Pebble Beach, but whatever. NES Open, this one is also amazing as well. Heavy Shredding, he basically said he threw this in here because he knows I love extreme sports, so why the heck not? Other one being Dragon Warrior. If you guys never watched my top 10 cheap NES game list, they actually made it on there. Other game, Adventure Island. This game is an absolute blast as well. Another game that made my top 10 list was Excitebike. He threw in California Games. This also fits my genre of my extreme sport loving games. And the last, which this actually made my top 10 list as well. So 3 out of these games made my top 10 list. When I did the top 10 list of, it was like 5 or 10 games for under 50 bucks. Several of these actually made the list. And the last one being Blaster Master. This game is by far the best NES game I think ever made. And if you never played it, definitely check it out. It's a must own. It's fairly cheap. I think it's like less than 10 bucks still. I'm not too sure. But yeah, there's a bunch of really cool NES games. Another game for Super Nintendo, these are the first of the Super Nintendo games, was Super R-Type. This game is wicked fun. I absolutely love shmups. Next game is Donkey Kong Country. Game I don't own, game super fun. He also threw in Super Mario Kart. He threw in Donkey Kong Country 2. He also threw in Legend of Zelda, Link to the Past. And last, but not least, a game that I was super shocked to get. Super Mario RPG. Honestly guys, the way this trade worked out was I sent him the games prior to too many games because I was going with limited room, and I just basically sent it to him. I said, you know what dude, surprise me. I know you're not going to obviously screw me over. Just whatever you could think of that you think I would like, just send it my way. I don't care what it is. Like I said, we got rid of Silent Hill Origins, we got rid of Obscure. And in the end, we got a bunch of really cool games that is basically working really well with the idea of an all-killer, no-filler collection. Now, as I play these games, mostly probably some of the NES games like Heavy Shredding, California games actually I've never played. There may be a few of them I may end up getting rid of down the road because I want to keep this collection basically of games I know I will play. But that's obviously going to happen within the next few months as I start to dig in most of these. And I can be completely honest with you guys, out of all these games he ended up sending me, I've only played a handful of them because I wasn't too keen on playing much Super Nintendo games when I had my collection prior. So as you guys can tell, this week was filled, I mean absolutely filled with amazing pickups. We have some really cool titles like Smash Bros, Mario Kart, Link to the Past, so Zelda, we have Mario RPG, Super R-Type, Blaster Master, Adventure Island. The list honestly just goes on and on. And I really think that we are at the point where this series has started to really take its shape. And if you look at the shelf now, you can kind of see where it's molded to. There are some things I still need to adjust within the collection. Still some things I need to filter out that I said I was going to filter out 2 episodes ago. But basically, time is just, taking the best of me right now. And I still want to constantly, or continue putting out content and not every 2 months like I have been. So the last thing I want to go over before we talk about what we're going to be keeping and getting rid of from this pickup is a 1,000 subscriber giveaway. Now, I have a box of games that I have recently come across that isn't a part of this collection. A lot of it's current gen stuff, or just some bunch of honestly, there's some really cool games in there. Whether I do that or I do something else, whether I go out and purchase maybe like a new Switch game or a game of your choice within X amount of dollars, I do want to do a 1,000 subscriber giveaway. So after this video is put out, probably wait 2 weeks, announce that. And then 2 weeks after that, because I think I can, with school is manageable right now. Wedding's over, like I said last episode. I then want to do a recap of the series. But while I do that, I also want to probably sell a few things to get back to that $50 budget point, because I think that's where I need to be in order to make that episode, because in the end it wouldn't be considered the free retro game collection unless I get back to that $50 budget. So I need to make, I think it's like $47 and change. Which shouldn't be hard because we do have some games on the shelf that we can definitely do that with. Okay, guys. So what I plan on keeping for this episode, we're gonna start from where we started with this episode, and that's gonna be with the NES games. Now, I'm not gonna let what I kept from my previous collection influence me on any of these things I'm gonna be keeping. So basically, if I kept it from my previous collection, it's not gonna be influenced. Like I kept Mario Kart. So if I keep Mario Kart, that's going to be normal because I'm going to keep what's going to be a new retro game collection, a new free retro game collection. So the first thing we're going to go over is Dr. Mario. I'm going to be keeping that. I'm going to be keeping the box as well. Bubble Bobble, I'll be keeping the game to it because I like the game, but I'm not keeping the box because I do not collect game boxes. Yes, I am keeping Dr. Mario because puzzle games, like Dr. Mario, Tetris, I absolutely love. So I'm going to be keeping that. Well, just the cartridge because I don't really care to keep the box. Super Jeopardy, this is going to be going. Tetris, I'm keeping this complete as well, even though I have it right above me right there. It doesn't matter. Next is going to be Toki. I'm probably going to keep this for now, unless I don't care for it. And last is going to be Zelda. I'm definitely keeping this because it's Zelda. So the next thing we're going to be going over is the GameCube games that I picked up. I know I did discuss that I did have a few of these games already in my PS2 collection from my prior collection, so as I said, not going to let anything influence me. Super Mario Sunshine, this one's actually not in that great of shape. It's missing the manual. It's not bad looking or anything, but I already own this because if you guys remember, I believe it was the last episode, I did a trade with Dan at Rebel Gaming Club, and he hooked me up with that, so that was probably going to be going, which will be great to do. It's definitely going to add a few extra bucks to try to get to where I need to be with this collection. Next, Mario Kart Double Dash, that's staying because that is absolutely complete and it's an awesome game. Next is Super Smash Bros. Melee. I'll be keeping that because everyone needs to have that in their collection, regardless if you think it's a fighting game or not. SSX Tricky, super fun game. That will be staying. SSX on Tour, not too sure. I never played it. I only play the Tricky games, so that may stay, may go. We'll find out once we play it. And last is Pikmin 2. More than likely will be staying because I enjoyed Pikmin 1, I enjoyed Pikmin 3. Pikmin 2, I can't imagine is much different if that's what basically is a bridge between Pikmin 1 and Pikmin 3. The GameCube controller. Why not? Yeah, that's pretty cool. I guess I'll keep it. A lot of the things actually with this series too, which I probably should discuss, is that systems, I already had the systems. I know I said I didn't want to talk about whatever I kept from my previous collection, but systems I wasn't really, it's more about the game collection is what I'm talking about, not so much adding in the systems and accessories. So if I end up not deciding to keep an accessory down the road, please don't stab me in the throat. I do apologize, but it's just something I'm going to try to work out. I'll think about that one as time goes on. Next, we have these 2 Game Boy games. I'm not going to lie to you guys. I don't like Game Boy too much, and if I do play, it's mostly just Tetris or Pokemon games. Metroid, I'll try it. I've never gotten into Metroid before, but then again, I've never really given it the time. So I'll definitely give these 2 games a try. Actually, mostly Metroid. Pokemon's probably just gonna go. So that's the fate of those. In regards to NES games and everything that Dan sent me, I'm gonna play everything, and I know for a fact like Blaster Master staying, California Games, as I talked about, may stay and may go. I'm not too sure. Excite Bike staying because I don't own that. Adventure Island staying. Dragon Warrior is gonna stay. Heavy Shredding, that one may or may not go. NES Open, that'll stay for now. Golf will stay, and all the Super Nintendo games, so R-Type, the Donkey Kongs, the Zelda, and Mario RPG, those will all be staying. More than likely, there's no reason, or there's more likely will be staying because there's no reason to really get rid of them. So yeah, everything basically has to get played, and I have to try enjoying it before I put it on the chopping block. Now, if you guys remember, before I end this episode, there was a bunch of crappy Genesis games I got. I've actually there's quite a few of them that I talked about not keeping. So I've yet to get rid of those. So we'll be talking about that in the next episode when we do the recap episode of what I have and what I got rid of. So what I'll do is I may put out a really quick what I sold episode and then the recap video. So I'm not shoving that into the recap video. So it can all make sense. So I can talk about basically what I have in my collection to make maybe a simple 10-minute video from that. But besides that, guys, if you guys, like I said earlier, if you are interested in seeing other pickup videos of other forms of media, current gen games, things I find at conventions, toys I find, or things outside of this free retro game collection, definitely let me know in the comments field below. If you guys want to see me do vlogs of my everyday boring life, or really what I do on the weekends, let me know. Mostly I just go to baseball games. But yeah, if you guys did like this episode, definitely give it a thumbs up in the comments field below. Let me know which portion of this pickup video or episode was your favorite, or whether you like the things I found at Savers or what I got from the Rebel Gaming Club. Let me know. And if you are going to grab one of these awesome t-shirts, let me know about that too. And send me a picture of you wearing. I'll throw on the Facebook page of my favorite fans. I'm actually I can't do that. That's not fair. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching this episode, and I hope you have a great week hunting.